What's happening, Brighton? The short answer is a lot. The long answer is this podcast. What's Up Brighton is a show dedicated to the community we all love.
Hosted by Roger Burnett, Eric Meldrum, and Coach Mark Howell, this podcast will feature news, issues, and discussions impacting Livingston County and celebrate the people who make our slice of Michigan go and grow. This is What's Up Brighton.
All right, well, episode 46, dude.
46.
Can you believe it?
No.
What is happening right now?
What's happening, Brighton?
Yeah. Thank you. What is happening, Brighton?
Man.
Yeah, 46
Wow.
episodes in, and dude, I think today I really want to look back on like this journey that we've been on. You know,
I like it.
Podcasting, 46 episodes.
Got to
Had some-
reflect to go forward.
Had
Yeah.
some, awesome guests on the podcast, and really looking into 2025. I literally couldn't believe it. Like, you were just talking about it, and we were trying to put the timeline together. We started this in about end of February, March timeframe.
Yep.
And 46 episodes in, dude, I just don't understand how all the time has passed.
And to think about how, how we've evolved, changed. I don't know if we've grown or not, but we've changed just like the format of everything. We used to be so like diligent about everything. Now we kind of just like, we feel it out, you know?
Yeah.
I love it.
There's no plan.
There's no plan.
There's no master plan.
That's
behind
the best
this
plan there
podcast.
is. No plan.
Yeah. I love it because somebody, I think it was Andrew, who I asked him for feedback on the podcast.
Yep.
And I was like, well, what do you think? Like format wise, like all that stuff. And he goes, dude, I wouldn't change anything. Like, and this was when we already changed the format.
Okay.
And so he's like, I wouldn't change anything. It's like, I love it, dude. It's like three guys from the city, city of Brighton, just getting up there,
Just
talking
rapping.
about, what's going on in the city, different perspective. It's not like a government view. It's not, a political view. It's just like, hey, you live here with a family. Like, how do you perceive what's happening around town? Good, bad, ugly. Like, this is your opinion. And it was funny because 2 episodes ago, I remember a moment where Roger and Elise were talking about the restaurants down there, and I said something and immediately felt judgment from it. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, why do I feel judged because I don't go to all the restaurants in Brighton?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, there's only a few restaurants that you can really go to. Like, you kind of get sick of them. And I was like, why am I feeling judged right now? Because like, well, there's plenty more restaurants. Like, yeah, but I don't freaking go to them.
Right.
Like,
right.
I don't ever go to them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, looking back, like 46, and I love where this is heading.
Yeah. And more importantly, we're having fun.
I hope everyone's having fun. You guys let us know in the comments.
We're having
if
fun.
you're
I don't
having
know.
fun. I'm having fun.
We're having
Mark
fun.
shows up every
mean,
Friday. Gets
It's an excuse to have bourbon. I don't know.
It's a bourbon in.
Darn.
You know.
You know.
So, but I think it's cool. Like when we set out for the podcast, it was really to, have a different perspective on like, some of the things that are happening in our personal lives, just living here, how things in the city are affecting, our livelihoods and days, daily activities that we do, positive or negative. And I hear this from all over the place because I help people move here. People are leaving,
Right.
know. So if you don't like it here and you want to sell your house, I got you. Right. But if you really want to come into the city, and-
Also, if you don't like it here and you're trying to move, I don't trust you. So
yeah, I
continue.
don't trust you either. So, I hear this on a couple of different tones from people that are like, I'm moving here from a city that has worse amenities, worse things going on. And they're like, well, I keep hearing that Brighton's going to be like the next Birmingham. Is that true? And I'm like, I don't know how it could be. Like, I don't think the footprint is big enough. I don't think the downtown area could even handle that. Right. And which brings up the question like, okay, well, it's growing, obviously. How are the, infrastructure going to handle it? And it's just an interesting conversation. I don't need to get into the nitty gritty on it, but so many people moved here for slower, smaller city, quaint downtown. And one thing I know, like even being here from 2016, it has changed.
Yeah, it has.
It's changed, but I still don't feel like we've gotten away from that small town. Do you?
No, I don't think it. I don't think it will change. I mean, it's evolved for sure, and it will continue to do so. But the people are what make Brighton special. It's not the downtown, or it's not any one thing, right? It's not the building or the busyness or the slowness or the speed. It's at the end of the day, it's the community of people that live here and that are passionate about the city and the surrounding areas. And those people, a lot of those people are homegrown Livingston County based people. And sure, people have migrated here over the time and then kind of adopted that way of life. Brighton, where quality is way of life.
I was hoping you were going to throw that in there. Where quality
it's on the sign. It says it.
Brighton, where quality is a way of life.
But I mean, I think, can it change over the course of like the next 20 years because it's, enough people have moved away or maybe keep heading west and, everything kind of shifts. I mean, that's definitely possible. Novi has definitely shifted over time and, and things continue to move this way. But I think, not people like me, but people like me who at least have been homegrown from here and that continue to stay here, raise their families here in those same values and, with the same emphasis on this community and giving back and propping people up and, helping your fellow neighbor. I mean, I think those are the things that really Brighton and the greater Brighton community has been founded on. So as long as those things are at the principle of what we value here as a community, regardless of what buildings we demolish and raise up and put new stuff in and how busy the town gets, if that always remains, then the heart of this city will remain the same. And it's going to be an awesome place to live.
That's a good way to look at it. I mean, there's a lot of worse places you could be.
Yeah, you could be in any of the neighboring cities.
In Browell?
Like me. No, I mean, it's, honestly, like when you say Brighton, like I always I just kind of like put Livingston County in that same umbrella because it's really, the people here are all really passionate about this greater area. And I think there's a reason that Livingston County is a thriving community and people are so charitable. People are so generous. People are so caring. It's just a certain, value system that people just embrace. And if you don't embrace that, you typically don't live here, and that's okay.
I was shocked to learn, I think this was last year, that Livingston County took the award for this as the wealthiest county in Michigan.
I think we finally overtook, is it Oakland we overtook? Yeah,
it was Oakland.
Seems wild, but
I know it's just wild, but when you think about it, there's so many, I don't want to say like luxury places in Livingston County because there's really not. Right?
I think of like a couple subs, that are like that are a whole different level. But then I think of a lot of like modest communities, that people live in and that seem to me like average, but maybe it's just not. Maybe maybe I've just even taken that for granted. Like where I live, I consider that very average, and maybe on a global scale, it's not. But in Michigan, it feels average. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's wealthiest per capita. So when you look at how many people are living in Oakland County, and you divide that by all the income or whatever, how they measure that, I think more people are here because they wanted to get away from that. They wanted to get away from that closeness. Like, have you ever gone to Birmingham and seen any of those houses?
Oh man, they're literally just boom, boom.
They're
boom.
right on top of each other.
They're right on top of each other. I live in a neighborhood similar to that, but we still have a little bit more space than that, and it's like, I don't know. I would love nothing but just a giant piece of property, but
kind of like the castle that you were in, and
kind of like the castle up on a mountain, preferably without the winding roads,
overlooking the clouds. Like,
oh, dude,
maybe we can get that high.
Yeah, I don't think I took a picture. Happen. I think actually so we were elevation wise, not to get too far down the rabbit hole, but we were like 4,000 feet above sea level, and I didn't have like a gauge. I guess like Denver is like maybe another 1,000 above. So like we're pretty high up, which was really cool. But I'll never forget, like I'll have that burned into my head. And I don't think I took a moment where instead of missing the moment and running back to my bedroom to grab my phone to then go take the picture, I think the moment would have passed because there was maybe a 5-minute window where it was just like, wow, all I saw were the peaks and just clouds. And I'm just like, dude, I could live my entire life. Most people live their entire lives and never have this one experience. So a huge shout out goes to my sister-in-law and brother-in-law for bringing us along because we would never be able to afford a trip like that.
Yeah, just let me know next time the invitation's open.
Absolutely.
Brianna and I will hop on the
I'll let you know if they're ever like, hey, you know what? We would be willing to bring another couple if you know of anyone. I'll be like, you know what? Eric and Brianna are in.
We're Mark and Christina's +2.
I wonder if I could sell that to them. Hey, can we bring a +2?
Yeah, it's totally normal. It's what
Thank
you do.
you. Thank you guys for your generosity, but can I bring a +2?
It's a European way of life.
I love that.
We'll
+2.
we'll pay for our own plane tickets.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You know what?
All right.
I can probably sell that to them.
There you go. we just want to bunk with you guys.
Fair enough.
No, that's cool. Like, so, that 46 episodes, I still cannot believe it, and we've,
What's been your favorite episode? Is there one that stands out where you're like, dude, that was fire. That was really fun, or that was controversial, or looking back, I wish we wouldn't have tackled that. I don't know.
any regrets?
On the spot. I mean, that was a
Yeah,
lot on
I
the
mean,
spot. I just threw kind of like a triple-headed monster at you.
Triple-headed.
Yeah. I
No,
know.
I leave it all on the field. I don't have
Oh.
have any regrets from like any of the episodes that we've done. I will say one of the things that I really do enjoy, like the new style, format that we've adopted, is really just kind of telling it how it is.
Yeah.
Right. Just our opinion.
Not
I
overthinking
felt like when we first started the podcast, we were really trying to like hit on some key topics and
Sure.
like, come up with, things that we thought, the viewers would want to really talk about. But that really wasn't in our DNA.
Yeah.
Right. Like as you get to know me, as we get to know you,
I have no structure to anything I do in life. So that was
Yeah,
very, I don't know.
and it's perfect that way. And like that, any podcast that I listen to is always non-scripted. They might have like a general like guest on, oh, we're going to cover this, but like it goes, some of my favorite podcasts are just about nothing.
Yep.
Right. There's a couple of guys talking and, like if you're listening to Theo Vaughn,
I have not, but
oh my
maybe I
God.
should.
Theo Vaughn's a trip.
Theo.
But
Good job, Theo.
One you probably heard, Joe Rogan's
Oh, yeah.
podcast.
Yep.
Like those conversations twist and go, and Joe's just a great conversationalist, and he asks great questions, and he's just curious. Like
Yep.
he's just very curious about people and like what makes you say that, why do you think that way, and what happened in your life that drove you to do that. So he's always kind of like digging those stories up with people.
That's cool.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I was really happy about is like we just kind of like let that guard down a little bit. It's like, hey, we don't need to be the most viewed podcast here. We're not trying to be like the biggest, but we do talk about things that are going on Brighton. Not every episode.
Yeah.
Right. And that's okay. Right.
Yep.
But we're experiencing life, together and figuring out, what these changes in the city mean for us, living here. Like if we didn't love living here, nobody would be here. Right.
We wouldn't be taking the time to talk about it. That's for
We're
sure.
taking the time.
We're taking the time to talk about where we live, and all the things around it because we're passionate about all the things.
Yeah. So, I guess turning that around, I don't regret anything. I'm looking forward to more of that.
Yeah.
Right? Getting people in here that, are just regular people that live in the city.
Yeah.
Like they don't
More
have
guests.
to have anything, major agenda. Like, hey, let's hear about this or hear about that. Like, yeah, I'd love to have, the mayor on and talk about, some of the developments, which we talked a little bit about last couple episodes. And, there are big things happening in which we will talk about.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to just getting to know some more people that live here, because the more people I meet on a regular basis, through our group, through my business, through, introductions and just networking with like you and Roger and everybody in my sphere of influence, the more down to earth people I continue to come across, right?
Yeah.
That are just happy to help. And I'll give you an example of this. I was just in the label picking up a check for Fund from Pizza Royale, right? And run into no shit, like 5 people I know.
Yeah.
In
of
there.
course.
Right. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got to stop there. Yeah. It's like, what's next? Am I going to be sitting at the bar drinking,
Yep.
like having a couple of beers? And I got out of there without any beers, but the guy that I ran into, local business owner, awesome dude. I've been talking to him for probably the past like 6 months about just different ideas and different things that, he's passionate about, I'm passionate about. And finally, something clicked when we ran into each other at the label. Because I was telling him I had a check in my hand. I'm like, well, I just picked up a check for Fund to Life. And he goes, oh, I was just thinking about them the other day. And I was trying to remember because I'd mentioned it to him like 3 months ago.
Mhm.
I asked him if he wanted to, donate and do something with Pizza Royale when we were just getting that, off the ground.
Yeah.
So nothing ever happened with that, but planted the seed.
Yep.
Right. Planted the seed. He was thinking about it. Now he runs into me I had a check in my hand for Fund a Life. And he goes, oh, dude, how cool would it be if we did something at my place? Because he's got a bar in his place. He's got like pool tables, and I'll just tell him who he is. His name's Justin. He owns Pro Billiards.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I've been
dude.
trying to connect with him because he ran into us when we were talking Pizza Royale with Steve. You know, when we were originally trying to get Label on board.
Exactly.
And here we go. Look at that.
Yep.
Continue.
So,
How awesome.
yeah, that seed was planted, and he goes, "Oh, how cool would it be if we did something to help raise some money with that?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Absolutely.
Of course, I'm here for that. Like, let's do something." And so he goes, "Oh, how about we have a party at my place?" And I said, "Well, that's cool, but how do we make that like a bigger event?" So we were just spitballing and just kind of like talking about it. He goes, I know. He goes, there's this group in the Milford area, kind of Huron Valley. It's called the Benjamin.
Yep.
Have you heard of them?
I have heard of them.
So he was like rad, and he's like, what if we did something like that here?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, an all guy thing would be cool,
It would be cool.
right? Build some fellowship and some, talk about whatever, beef jerky and riverboat gambling and all that bullshit. Like that would be cool. But we have all the what's it called? Ladies' night out.
Yeah.
Right here. I'm like, what do we got for the men?
Nothing.
We got nothing.
Yep.
Right. I don't know if we need anything. Doesn't matter. But
We
I
could
thought,
use something. Why not?
yeah. And
Let's have some fun.
That was my perception. I'm like, what if we don't need like a night out on the town?
Yeah.
What if we just got a bunch of guys together? Because what do I like to do? Right. I think about like, I don't want the pressure of going out, like, going to the bar, going to this shop. I'm not going to go shopping.
Right.
Right. Like,
100%. Neither am I.
I'm trying to do everything on the opposite. I
Yeah.
don't want
Keep me
to
out
go
of a store.
to go to the store and spend more money. But that'd be cool if we got together and shot some pool,
Yep.
put a sports game on,
Absolutely.
drink some beer,
Had some drinks.
and what they do is the Benjamin, they get together and they all throw in $100.
Yep.
So their goal is they meet quarterly, and every quarter everybody gets together and they take $10,000 and they gift that to a nonprofit of their choice. For that
Absolutely.
month. So him and I are in talks of that right now. Hopefully by the time this airs, like we'll have something in the works. But first one is we're going to plan to try to meet up at his place, and
Consider me in. I'm in.
yeah,
So you have three.
we got three. Right
You have
now.
three people. You're
So
in.
if you're interested in that remotely, if you're a guy here in Brighton area and you want to get around a bunch of other guys who are like-minded and just looking for a way to spread some hope through charity.
And
events.
there's a women's group that does it. 100 Women Who Care. They do something similar in nature, but it's just more nonprofit based. I think it'd be really cool to start to build that fellowship, that that kind of grouping with men, because I think like men too, like sometimes like we all want to get engaged and we all want to come together, we want to help, we want to do different things. We don't either, like, we're not the planners. We need like a reason to just go do something.
Yeah,
you know?
and that's what
Make it
drew me
easy.
to it. When he kind of laid it out, I was like, dude, this sounds so easy.
Yeah.
If you just tell me where to go and where to slap my $100 down,
100%.
I'm there.
Hey, if you're gonna come, you're gonna hang out. We're gonna shoot some pool. We're gonna have some drinks. We're gonna hang out. You're gonna meet some cool people, and you're gonna bring $100 with you. Cool, done. I'm in.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just give me a date and time.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
So I think a lot
Sold.
more. That would gain a lot more traction than trying to do something like, oh, we need a guys' night out downtown.
Yeah,
Like then we got to talk to all the restaurants and like
100%.
plan. Like just got done telling you, I'm not a party planner, not an
Yeah.
event planner. Like don't want anything to do with it.
Yep.
So
This
I
could be
love
an easy thing.
Yeah, I love that. So I'm super excited about that. I think that's going to be one of those things that we look back on now. Like it was just so natural that
Yep.
how all of it came to be. It was like ran into them, talked about Fund a Life, planting the seed, and like that's how some of the best ideas
Yeah.
come up.
You know what's funny too? Like just taking that little bit of leap of faith. Sometimes, like I know I've been a victim of it, where you have this urge or you have this idea and like you want to share it with somebody, but then you're just like, oh, that probably sounds dumb, so I'm just not gonna say it. And it's like, why? Just say it. Like talk it through. Right? Like you might say something that spawns something. It might end up going nowhere, but like, you planted that seed. He played off it. You guys played off each other. Next thing you know, you're potentially making a huge difference with starting this new club, this new group, this whatever. And Those are the best ideas, man.
That's
Authentic.
That's how Pizza Royale
Let's go.
came to life.
Genuine authenticity. Let's go.
There was looking back at like if we whiteboarded Pizza Royale of like all the ideas.
Dude, that's actually really funny to think about now.
Like, because do you remember what it was supposed to be?
Giant pizza party at Mount Brighton.
Yeah.
Tons of different pizza providers. Running pizzas, you're voting, eating pizza. Yeah, that was nothing close to what we executed.
No, but
and looking back, like how unreasonable was that event going to be? Like now it's like that we couldn't have made that work.
Oh, I mean, in the time frame.
Like how?
Yeah, there's always where there's a will, there's always a way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I will say, but looking back at that, like for our first go at it, there's no way we could have pulled that off.
Yeah,
there's no way.
100%.
You know, we would need somebody dedicated full time. Like you look at the Taste of Brighton, it's a freaking committee.
Yeah,
right. There's a committee of people.
Oh, they work
that
on
are
that thing
all
year round. Yeah, year
doing
round.
that.
Yep.
You know, and we were like, oh, it was like July. We're like, oh, we'll have this in October.
Yep.
No,
it's tough, man.
Not going to happen. So, and that's fun. But looking back, what was your favorite episode? Did you have one? Did you have any regrets? Any things that you want to bring in 2025?
Man, I don't have any that stick out to me. I don't have any that I have. Okay, admittedly, I have a terrible like memory as well, like short-term memory and stuff like this. Like, I'm not good at names. I'm not good to remember stuff like this.
Gotta lay off the gummies, man.
I would need to see like a list of all the episodes, and then I could probably handpick them. But no, I think I've just enjoyed like the evolution of where we're at. You know, it's just been fun. It's been fun getting to know some of our new guests. I think in 2025, you know, it'd be cool to have even more guests on, get to know different people and have their take on the city and, you know, input and navigating where we're going with this podcast and sharing our opinions. Like that'd be cool. But
who do you think was the most interesting guest we've had so far?
For me, the Oxford Center stands out because I knew nothing about what they did, and I was like mind blown. I just assumed it was always like an autistic related services thing. I just thought like that was all they did. But I was always fascinated by how big the building was and how cool it looked. But I also never took the time to just research it on my own. So it was really cool. Was it Andrew? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was really cool getting to know him and all the different things that they do out of that center and how they started and how they've grown. As you know, as a nonprofit, watching like their growth and how they've shifted gears and transitioned over the years, like it's really inspiring to be like, wow, like look where you guys are now. You guys are freaking rocking.
Yeah, and they built that facility has been built up like I don't know ever since we moved in. I think they've been working on that place.
That's so cool.
And they're really now busting out of the seams. Like they need more space.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Yeah, that was a good one. Andrew's just a really nice guy. I went on his podcast not too long ago.
Yeah.
Very
cool.
That was fun. You know, so
yeah, good dude.
Are you or a loved one struggling with the effects of a stroke? The Oxford Center in Brighton, Michigan offers a cutting-edge alternative stroke treatment that can help stroke victims even years after having a stroke. Our approach combines traditional medicine with evidence-based alternative therapies, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy. This advanced treatment involves breathing pure oxygen in a specialized environment that can stimulate the growth of new blood vessels and promote healing in the brain. We also offer physical therapy and speech therapy programs to help patients regain their strength, coordination, and ability to communicate. Contact the Oxford Center today at 248-486-3636 or visit the website at oxfordcenter.com to learn more about the alternative stroke treatment options, including hyperbaric oxygen therapy. That's 248-486-3636 or visit oxfordcenter.com. I think there was one guest that sticks out. His name was John.
See, I missed a few of the guests as well.
Yeah, he was the art.
See, I missed that one.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was after.
I'm terrible. Just like your short-term memory, like I'm terrible with names. Like give me a face. I'll remember you every single day of the week. But
it was after the orange cowboy guy was taken down, right?
Yeah.
Is that when we had him on?
Yes.
Am I saying? I don't know what it was. Orange. You know what I'm talking about. The orange man.
It was the Man in the City.
Man in the City. Okay.
Right? Man in the City was the a correct term for it. But they're all over Detroit, and like I think they go up into the Traverse City area, and there's some more of them.
Okay.
But that was a super interesting. The thing I liked about him was like he's a guy that just like tells stories.
Yeah.
Right. And like everything that you say, he's like, oh, dude,
I got a story for that.
I got a story for that. He's like, hold my beer.
Yep.
Right. He's like, I got this.
Oh, that's
right?
awesome.
I love interesting people like that. And he had a great beard.
Oh,
on him as well.
fantastic.
You know, just like a
Fantastic.
super interesting dude. You just sit back and like drink bourbon and you know,
Just
listen
let
to
him go.
stories all day. It's like,
Just let him go.
just rip, man.
Give me a story on XYZ topic.
Yeah.
He's got one.
Just pick one. Just throwing a darts at the board. You're like, how about Antarctica? You got anything down there?
I liked when Chief Mike and Rick from the Brighton Fire Department were on too. I had no idea of like what an operation they have. Like I think I take it for granted. Like, oh, you look over, you see the little Brighton Fire Department, and you're like, oh, that's cute. You know, they put out a lot of fires around Brighton. You know, I had no idea. Like they do so much out of there. It's like, holy crap! Like that's quite the freaking operation, man. And that was very insightful for me too. And I got to know them a little bit through just some different events this year, and they're just great dudes. I've known Rick since high school, but Mike, getting to know him a little bit more, and you can tell he just brings. Like we're very blessed to have him here in Brighton, leading the charge. Like, wow.
Yeah, we've been trying to get the deputy chief Brian on for a while.
Okay.
And so we got a connection through Jim Churches, who I've also been trying to get on the podcast. He's a chef at Land O'Lakes. Kids go to the same school, but awesome dude.
Land O'Lakes, like the butter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Like Land O'Lakes butter.
Oh yes.
Dude. So
do we get free butter if we get him on here? Let's get him on ASAP.
Could. But Jim was the head of our culinary department. It's like our dad's club at St. Pat's, right?
Culinary department.
And he always made it a point. Like he just anytime we got together, it was like, all right, we're having a meal. And he started this culinary club. And it became one of the best, I think, clubs at the dad's club, like
That's
within
sweet.
the club. Call it a department. It's really just a club. But, you know, we would all get together. We did the fish fry. We did for the inaugural, not the inaugural, but the first meeting of every single year, we would go make something at the school and feed all the dads.
Awesome.
You know, so it was like always a party, right?
Yep.
Got a cooler full of beers, cooking some brats, you know, whatever was on the menu. It was great. So anyways, we had a connection with Brian. I've been trying to get him on, and he was so freaking pissed when Rick and Mike came on before him. He was like, dude, he's like, I was just so busy. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, these other guys aren't busy. You gotta get on. I'm like, I get it. You're out there, you know, fighting fires.
Yep.
You know, and one of the times he was supposed to come on, it was when the explosion happened in Milford.
Yes. Okay.
And he was like, dude, I can't make it.
Yep.
He's like, we're dealing with this. And I said, well, I totally understand.
Yeah.
Praying for everybody. Hopefully everyone's okay. He's like, yeah, everyone's good.
Yeah.
Just a lot going on. 46 in the books, man.
Unreal.
46 more to go. So let's leave everyone with kind of an outlook for next year.
Yeah.
What are some of the things? What are some of the things that you think? What's your prediction for next year? You got any massive predictions, whether it's personal, podcast wise? You know what's going on?
Man,
What do we expect?
I don't know. You know, it's funny because like I like to plan the year, but I'm always like a late planner, like because it's always like rush. You know, do all the things and then poof. And so,
You ever seen that big ass calendar?
I have seen it.
Do you have one?
I do not have one, but I have seen one in action.
Yeah, I've always wanted to get one of those.
What I thought was
stalks me. This time of year, your ads are coming in hot with that thing. It's like, oh yeah, you're.
I was in a local financial establishment, and I won't give the plug because they're not a sponsor. But what I thought was cool was he had one up in his office, and he said what he does is he backs into, like any of his work related stuff. He puts in all of his non-negotiable family stuff first, and then he schedules everything else around it. And it wasn't like a novel concept, but I was like, that seems like the right way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like like instead of, I'm trying to squeeze in this family vacation in between these things, like, nope, like I'm going to plan that out all first. And then everything else goes around it. Oh no,
spilled bourbon.
No. So that was, I don't know. That was cool. It was a cool calendar. It was huge.
Yeah. I've always wanted to get one of those, but anyways, I sidetracked you.
You did.
For next year. What are some of the things we're carrying in?
Oh man. We're carrying in. I'm kind of in the midst of my planning. I know when this airs, it'll probably be in the new year, but right now I'm planning for the year. I've got a couple actually like side hustles, business ventures that I'm dabbing into right now. So I'll probably have hopefully some by the time this airs and shortly into the new year, have some new releases, some exciting new things to chat about or release. Always dabbling in some new things. Yeah, I don't know. I think I just want to expand upon everything that I'm currently doing is really the goal. Like, how do we reach more people through Fund a Life, lift more people up through Shining Light Company, coaching more kids, impacting them in ways, just giving them more resources to be successful and be them best selves. Other than that, just enjoying life. It's going by fast. The kids are 12 and the twins are 8, and I know that you know this too. It's just it goes by fast. So how do we slow time down and take advantage of the moments and be in the present as much as possible?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get that big ass calendar. Now that we're talking
do
about
it.
it like that literally could not be more true. Like this year for me has just like blown by.
Yeah, and it goes faster and faster.
It went so fast.
Yep.
Looking back, like we had our annual vacation, which we planned. We were supposed to plan a trip to Ireland, this year or next year. Still haven't done it, so I feel like
just have to do it.
I'm right in that time frame. Like we need to get that planning done. Right, need to schedule the vacations. I don't know if Ireland's going to be on the docket for 2025.
Highly recommend.
I really do want to go, but we were hoping to go in the summer, and I just feel like we got to at least plan 7, 8, maybe a year out. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe overthinking it. So I'm gonna get the big ass calendar, but
there you go. Is that what it's called? Is it called the big ass calendar? Kind of like big ass fans.
Yeah, it's big ass calendar.
I love it. Big ass calendar. Shameless plug for them.
Yeah, shameless plug.
They should be a sponsor.
They should. That guy's loaded. He's a business guy on his own. What the heck is his name? His wife. Here we go. Names again. Right.
Yep.
Can't remember the name of anybody. Because I deal with people all day. So that's really good. If you're one of my clients, I will remember your name. Trust me.
If you're one of the people I work with, I probably won't remember your name, but I will appreciate you nonetheless.
There we go. But his wife is the founder of Spanx.
Okay.
So if anybody remembers that guy's name,
they've done okay.
I think his name's Jesse something. Yeah, they're fine. But I think the cool thing that I'm looking forward to in 2025 is really just filling the seat with somebody interesting and just having more conversations.
Yep.
Just having more conversations with people here locally. No big agenda.
Yeah.
With it. Just get to know more of like our neighbors, people that are doing cool things in and around the community. I think some of my favorite episodes, for kind of going back to that is when we had guests on.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't necessarily about us or, what we were wanted to talk about that day. It was really getting to know them and their stories and like what brought them here.
Yeah.
Because I would say 95%. That's a total guess. I have no data to support that. But like 95% of the people that live here were not originally from here.
Yep.
It might even be higher. So I
one of the
love
5%.
So I'm looking forward to getting some more people in that seat and really just kicking back, drinking some bourbon, and having some more conversations.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good. All right. Well, if you're somebody that wants to join us on the podcast here, let us know. I contact information's down in the description, or you can get a hold of me. I don't want to get my number out. I don't want random people texting me, but you can message me on Facebook as well. But you guys give it a shout out to the year in reverse. 2024 is behind us. 2025 is coming up.
Let's rock and roll.
So let's take this podcast to the next level. Subscribe, tap the little bell so you're the first to learn, and give this episode a thumbs up. Let YouTube know we're doing a great job. And we'll catch you on the next one.